Live in the RNG Beijing Arena, it is going to be a pretty important game for both these sides of RNG versus Suning Gaming. We just saw a invigorated top esports take back #2 spot in the LPL standings, and RNG will not want to be taking too much time in reclaiming that second seed. So we see all the fans, packed house as usual. Those chairs look so damn comfy.
Yep. Remember, I was there in 2018 to be able to watch the Suning versus RNG series. Great chairs. Actually a fabulous stadium for people who haven't been there in the arena, or at least in the area. It's in Lukasong, right next to the Cadillac Arena. It's actually a thriving place to just, if you want to go out and have a go to the restaurant, get a bite to eat, you can do that if you want to. Movie theaters, everything. It's actually just right next to like the heart of Beijing. So the fact that you can just go for, exactly. So the fact that you can go to the arena, check out the RNG games, there's no wonder why it's packed every single time.
Yeah, sure, everyone just realizes there's something going on. They go, oh, we might as well go in. Got great facilities, but...
I feel bad for the foreigners that end up going to Beijing and, you know, realizing, hey, I'm in the area. Why not just get a ticket for, you know, the event? It's just packed every time. Doesn't matter who they're going up against, too. Even if it's, you know, Vici Gaming versus RNG, people are there to just watch RNG.
Yeah,
so
very dedicated fan base. But of course, we're going to be bringing you today the first series, or the second series of the day, which is of course going to be RNG against Suning Gaming. Suning on the up and up, definitely looking a lot stronger than we anticipated, given how, you know, poorly their spring split went. And RNG, they're almost looking like playoffs RNG right now. Clean and concise.
And a lot of it comes down to primary carries that they're playing around. And for me, with the Suning success that they had versus top esports in the last series, it was because of Smlz. And so the fact that we're going into this series and we're seeing Smlz versus Uzi, that is going to be fun for me. Honestly, when I was seeing Smlz's storyline in the spring split and the fact that he played the worst I've seen him since joining the LPL, it hasn't been the case like this for his entire career. Like 2018, he was, you know, top 380 carries for sure. In fact, it was Uzi for me, then Smlz, Jackie Love and iBoy coming immediately afterwards, and it felt like the battle for top 2 was a consistent one, or at least the second place was consistent, but Uzi was at the top.
Yeah, and I think as well, like, you know, the mark of a strong and good player is definitely one that can bounce back after a bad split. You know, we've seen many great players just having not the greatest of times. You know, your Faker's had some bad slumps, you know, the official GOAT of League of Legends.
Yep.
It's about how you bounce back. It's how you come back into it. And Smlz, he's finally found, like, the roster of Suning finally working out for them.
Yeah, and a lot of it just came down to, you know, all the changes Suning had as a roster. I mean, they brought in Smlz, they brought in SwordArt, Maple, all those people. One of the biggest losses that, you know, I felt like Suning had was losing Langx. Langx started with this squad. He came into the league with them when they came in from the LSPL. They joined the LPL. It was Langx really being kind of heralded, being put on a pedestal. They were calling him the top 3 top laner in the LPL really before his time. I was looking at him at that time. I was like, I don't agree with that. Like, no one did until he really, you know, we were starting to see what he was showing in scrims onto stage, and he was a major playmaker for the squad. We called him a franchise player, and then he left the franchise.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. But Suning, they brought in Angel. Angel now the new boy that's come in as well. So
they've been swapping it for a few people. They had
people
up in the top lane, and yeah, now they're bringing in Angel, which more so, if you saw Victory 5 in the last series, it's kind of like taking notes, recognizing that so many people across the globe are swapping lanes, or recognizing that it's not so much like top lane and mid lane, they're solo lanes. So you can be bringing up, like, Maple can pick up the Kennen and throw him up in the top lane and be a top laner and go for the AD build. Or you saw Angel coming in with, you know, the Corki's been his go-to pick in the past anyways, so he can pick up Corki this time around. They can essentially situate themselves in any way, shape, or form. So when we talk about mid lane magic, sure, Victory 5 is a team that started that in the LPL. It's now Suning that's really started to run with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think RNG have kind of reacted to that, you know, kind of mini meta, if you like, as, you know, we've seen Xiaohu, who's had MVP of Week 8, you know, absolutely insane player. He's been flexing up and down the lanes because, you know, that's just the way it is in LPL right now. You have to play both.
And this is a fun matchup because you're right. all of it's talking about, you know, mid lanes coming through. But we kind of already alluded to it. Maple coming into the team. And it's going to be Maple, SwordArt versus Karsa. And even
and Stake, technically.
Stake, Fluid Win.
Yeah.
Literally, this is, and I'm going to just flatly say it, this is the best chance, both of these teams, that the LMS has at international events. Like RNG and Suning, if they get
the
there.
The pseudo-success.
They will definitely go farther than the real Flash Wolves. And so I'm excited to be able to see what, you know, the new iteration of Suning has alongside you know, the current performance of Maple. And we're already going in towards their introduction of the teams here in the Wukesong venue.
And we see Suning going to be the first ones on stage as the visitors. And again, they're looking to continue their, you know, relative hot streak. 2 wins from 2. They're 6-3 right now. They want to go 7-3 just to be able to put pressure on those kind of, you know, quarterfinal buys.
Yep, and here's the players, of course. Angel up in the top lane, Weiwei in the jungle. You have Maple up in the mid lane. And in the bottom lane, as we were talking about, Smlz and SwordArt.
Like you said, a lot of the ex-Flash Wolves there. Fortunately for Flash Wolves in the Summer LMS 2019, I think they're last. I'm pretty sure they're 2-10 or something like that.
I haven't been keeping up with the summer split.
Not super good for them right now, but
I haven't made a mention of Fluid One, who joined the team after the summer split debacle that ended up happening, or the spring split debacle. So spring split happened. You know, Easyhoon is still coming in the coaching staff. Comet is the one that ended up going back to Korea, but now bringing in Fluid One and essentially having a stronger game plan that they can all buy into is something that is nice to see, and it's a reason for their current success.
And Suning's opponents, the home arena, RNG now taking to the stage. And RNG in this particular form, they're just monstrous.
Yeah, and let's just go through the lineup too, because nothing surprising, to be fair. Langx in the top lane, Karsa in the jungle, Xiaohu up in the mid lane, and then the bottom side of the map, it's Uzi and Ming. And for us, yes, completely dominating. When they went up against LNG, that was a little awkward because we expected that to be incredibly contested, a strong team fight matchup. But the problem was LNG, of course, not only just died to top esports the series beforehand, went into this series and had a very similar performance. RNG are strong because of that mid lane jungle. Karsa and Xiaohu consistently playing up the snuff.
And you can see stats not a million miles away, but a lot of firsts there for RNG as they kind of win through, you know, like you talked about the goal difference of 15, the early game, their team KDAs, the wards placed per minute. They have a lot of that kind of, you know, on lock.
Yeah, and immediately you're already talking about the fact that ward placed per minute's a constant that RNG has going for them. You know, you start to focus on how Karsa and Ming have been really tag teaming alongside each other to be able to, when they have early game leads through Xiaohu, to start walking into the jungle and start constricting space for, in this case, it would be Weiwei. I want to see how the early game ends up going for them, because Suning should have done the preparation, recognized that Xiaohu has been hitting up the Rumble consistently, so if they have mid lane shove, they need to contest that to be able to get that first game in them under their belts.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think you either take away the Rumble or have an answer to it, like you've said. You know, have something that can contest it, make sure that it's not just a free push and into roams, which is what Xiaohu has done so fantastically well on that Rumble pick.
And the worst thing too is that teams, you know, the teams when they go up against RNG, their answer is like the Camille or something that will try and force a fight into it. But the problem is RNG will recognize that. Ming has been able to find his way in the mid lane a lot of times when the ganks ends up, when the skirmishes end up happening, and RNG will have the numbers advantage to be able to like fight back on that. So it's not as if RNG hasn't been aware of that weakness of the Rumble pick. They've been able to essentially group around it, have great vision around the bot side of the map. But we got ourselves a Fluid Win. Hear from him.
实力特别的强，打得特别好，而且我的老队友牛排也在那里，其实蛮期待跟他们交手的。对，了解是蛮了解的，但能不能打赢我不知道。就是如果是跟牛排交手的话，可能就两边的 BP 都会猜得比较准确吧，我的感觉。因为有的时候在跟其他教练对决会觉得有的 BP 跟自己想的后半段会有点不一样。对，但 RNG 的话，可能就是个黑科技大战。
There we go.
Fighting for me. They're fighting for me.
I warned you when you came into China with BP as a name.
Yep, 2 ex-LMS coaches.
Yep.
2 ex-Flash Wolves coaches.
More players. Fluid Win coming in from the Flash Wolves very recently too. And so a lot of it just comes down to the body of work that they've had, You know, with Rogue Warriors, you know, Stake came through, had flash rolls, came into the LPL with Rogue Warriors, made that swap very recently in between splits to RNG. I was from spring split to summer split. So it's nice to be able to see Stake consistently, like, essentially on top. You'll always be able to see what he's able to do from the pick and ban is what Fluidwin was talking about. And a lot of the adaptation that RNG has in the pick ban, as Fluidwin mentioned, mid lane, don't know what he's going to pick, right? The Rumble has been one thing, but I feel like they're going to be able to leave that in the past, especially with 9.14 coming through. Sylas could be just the go-to once again. Last series, for whatever reason, it was just not banned. So I would definitely expect that to be different this time.
It'd be interesting to see. Would you say, like, we've had a lot of discussion, obviously, from experts in LCK, LDC, about the importance of draft, and do we think that that kind of resonates here as well? That, you know, win almost won and lost based on what you pick and ban?
Yeah, at least you need a good response if you have poor laning phase matchups. That's always been the go-to, especially since the turret platings came in. So, man, I could agree with that. I don't think you look at a draft and just say, well, the game is lost here. A lot of the times, especially in the LPL, teams have drafted to be able to deal with early shove priority that, you know, RNG and IG have kind of made their name on. Good example is, you know, Suning has been the team, regardless of what roster that they end up fielding, can try and fight you consistently.
虽然
We'll be
Maple
hearing
说
from
他来
Xiaohu
LPL
here,
最
though.
想跟我交朋友，但是已经大半年过去了，我还是没有看得出他有这方面的想法吧。我觉得他夏季赛比起春季赛来说，就是更适应 LPL 了吧，表现也更加出色了。
Okay, I love that. Because whenever an LMS player comes into the LPL, adapting to the LPL mindset is 100% to go to. Remember when Karsa came into the LPL, he was actually being benched for MLXG a lot of the times because he was not finding success, slowing the pace of the game down. So, yeah, welcome to the LPL. We fight a lot. We're active a lot. It's not a slower paced game. It's like when you watch LMS games, especially the Flash Rolls games back in those days, you know, slow, LCK playstyle, everything. Follow the jungle, and the jungle dictates the flow of the map. LPL, it's like, no, you're sticking to your solo lanes. You're literally camping for a player. Karsa's recognized that, so he started to actually kind of fit that into his playstyle. Maple had to recognize that from split going into summer.
I think that's as well, and I think Maple, like, you know, is kind of on a redemption arc of such. Like you said, came in spring 2019, was not able to adapt quick enough, and then all of a sudden, you know, we're coming into summer, he seems to have found himself. Like Xiaohu actually said, he's like, I actually think he's playing a lot better now that he's adapted himself to the style that is LPL.
And that says a lot to the team as well. Spring Split, they were one of the slowest teams in the LPL. That's the way they wanted to play the game out, much like BLG. Problem with that is, whenever they were faced with a fight, they oftentimes had confusion. Like, it would be Langx who would be joining the fight when he was on Suning at that time, and, you know, the team would have mixed comms and when did they want to take it or not, right? They hadn't really formed that out, which is why they started throwing in sub-players. Weiwei and Biu started coming in, and then thankfully in between spring and summer split, they had resolved that, brought Fluidwin, and really hammered out where they had to respect the LPL's playstyle a lot of times. You got to play early. If the fight comes through, communicate and group up early and take those skirmishes. So it's nice to be able to see that, but still play to the intellect that SwordArt has as a player, that he's still kind of like, if you can take the fight and be prepared for it, then still go back to your slower gameplay. It's rather kind of, don't just expect the games to go the way you want them to, is basically the lesson that they learned.
It's LPL in a nutshell, but I do believe we have another interview.
All right.
Potentially be able to see. Not 100%. I definitely heard it, but
we'll see.
We'll see.
I'm always open to another interview.
接下来对阵 RNG 的话，小虎最近那个有护目镜加成嘛，最近也拿了挺多 MVP 的，那个应该是挺有用的。对上 Karsa 的话 ，Karsa 一直以来都是个蛮聪明的选手，他打法跟操作其实都挺好的。那来到 RNG 之后，我觉得他的个性应该变得更好了吧？对，就是他毕竟在我们这边是当大哥的，在那边应该不太。
Before he even says it, before he finishes the statement, I don't know if he's the boss of RNG. Cut his mic.
Yeah, get him out of here. We're in Beijing right now. You can't just say that kind of stuff. But Maple, you know, obviously recognizing as well, Karsa, like you said, finding his footing, able to come into this, and Karsa definitely looking like the best jungler in the LPL as of right now.
Yep, I think Karsa 100%. The LPL has been the most consistent, and the only time you start to see weird, you know, playstyles when he has to path bot side and deal with an emergency. Going up against Suning, we're in pick and ban though.
We are into pick and ban. We do see the Twist of Fate, the Nico and the Yuumi taken out by RNG, with the Olaf and Aurelia banned by Suning. Do they leave open the Sylas? Is the question that we have to ask each other, because you imagine if they do, it's got to be first pick RNG.
Yeah, I mean, this is Suning now thinking about it. You definitely want to see the Sylas get picked up, not just because of the buffs that came his way, but the fact that now you can just play it to multiple lanes, right? It's not just going to be the jungler. So what was awkward about Rift Rivals and Beyond was the fact that when a Sylas was being early picked, then you would instantly see a Xin Zhao or Rek'Sai or a jungler earlier on that would be able to skirmish. But this time around, you can literally just hide the pick, especially on blue side.
And Tahm Kench going to be the first thing picked up. Obviously, we've talked about the changes to him at length. Still favored for RNG to give Uzi, as we talked about in our matchup between him and SMLZ, give Uzi the upper hand potentially. And Ezreal locked in for Suning. So SMLZ not going to have the best of early games, but definitely going to be able to pack a punch. And Karthus has been locked in for
All
Weiwei.
right. We've been seeing Karthus spike up since Canyon did a lot at Rift Rivals. You always have to harken back, because since that point, we've been seeing Karthus consistently. And so Weiwei's Karthus is going to be fun, but you're right about the Ezreal point. The fact that Ezreal won't be able to have too much of a say in the early portions of the game. Please lock it in. Please do it.
Don't get baited.
We have been seeing the the only reason why I have to talk about that hover is because we've been seeing a little bit kind of sprouting up in the LDL. So in the developmental league, we've actually just been seeing, a lot of the champion, but not going to be the case this time around. No Yuumi is going to be available for Suning, so we're not going to be seeing the Ezreal and Yuumi. I kind of expect it to be the Nautilus going in for SwordArt.
Now, we do see that as well as kind of a very standard reaction to the Tahm Kench pick, is the Nautilus, the almost all-in effect as such, as Sivir locked in for Uzi.
SwordArt's a Blitzcrank player. Put that out there. Remember the big change to Blitzcrank and why we've been able to see it in both the LEC and the LCK is the fact that it just shuts down shields entirely.
Yep.
So the ultimate's going to be a crucial fact, but Lux Hover is going to only make me sad.
Did receive substantial nerfs to the shielding. Not as safe or as annoying as a pick it was, but against the Tahm Kench and a Sivir, you're not really going to be able to, get a huge amount of kill pressure if you don't take something that has like hard CC.
Yeah, and it's going to be nice to still play through what is, consistent poke through her ults. It's not going to be as consistent since they did take out that in 9.14. The refresh on the ultimate has been sadly taken into the wayside. But
single tier, fully stacked.
Yeah. But the double binding is always going to be a nice way to play out the early game. So I want to see what Suning can do with the bottom side of the map to kind of amplify that.
And we talked about it in pick and ban, but the Rumble from Xiaohu banned away by Suning. The Kiana banned as well, so we're going to see a lot of these flex picks. We're necked in as well, taken away. Like we talked about, you can't really tell where these picks are going to go, so you just have to get rid of them.
Yeah, I'm still surprised we haven't been seeing the Azir nearly as much. I think it is still something you want to go to, but because we have a Karthus in the jungle, you open up a bag of worms that a lot of the AD champions that you didn't see consistently, like a Jace mid, but just a reminder for everybody, no Jace, no Talia, and no Mordekaiser. They have been global banned now in 9.14, so that's not going to be an option here.
RNG banning out the Corki, which says to me that they either want Suning to force pick the Azir, or they want to take it themselves and make sure that they get a pretty decent mid lane matchup.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see, where this Aatrox ends up going, mostly because it could easily go towards Angel, but really just dependent on the matchup. And I think Angel is the better Aatrox of the two players between him and Maple, and we have seen Maple going up into the top lane, so that's the reason why I send out the question.
Yeah, they're no longer mid and top laners. We talked about it at length, but they are solo laners now, can go into many different positions. And RNG gonna lock in the Camille, almost certainly going up to Langx all on that top side.
We still have to see the full composition for RNG. This is when we find out with 20 seconds left. It's a lot of great, chase down, team fight from RNG. You still need to see more wave clear through mid. All right, let's see it.
Zoe looks like it's going to be the hover. Do they lock it in? They do. So Zoe going to be the pick. And you talked about wave clear, pretty decent wave clear coming in from the Paddle Stars.
At least for the early game, especially I think once you get 4 levels on your queue that you can just clear out backlane wave. Sylas being hovered. It's just a surprise that it took this long for the champion to even be a consideration. But yeah, looking at RNG's compositions, it's Xiaohu's Zoe that during playoffs, he went mad on the pick. He was actually an incredible Zoe player. There are a few questions as to whether he can play the option, like how good of a Zoe he was when he wasn't willing to go to the option during the regular season. But the first game he had shut a lot of people up. He was able to just take full control of the lane. Now going up against the Sylas, we'll see how that ends up going.
Yeah, Sylas was locked in, and we have got our team comps locked and loaded. It looks like Angel, like you said, going to be taking the Aatrox with Maple on the Sylas. Those two can still swap the lanes, so definitely not 100% certain where they are going. And I want to talk about a little bit about this Karthus pick as well, because it's not something we see. We saw a lot of it in EU for a very long time, and then the nerfs came in, and now we haven't seen it for a very long time at all, pretty much outside of kind of the LCK and LPL. Why is that? Why are all of a sudden the resurgence in this champion in this particular region?
For the Karthus, correct?
Correct.
The Karthus is an interesting one because when it first came onto the scene in the LPL, it was Ning playing a single game of that champion. To be fair, BLG had still been playing it, so they respected the pick. But it was, you know, our world champions picking up the pick and realizing that they actually couldn't skirmish as much whenever they wanted to. It was actually far harder to play it out their own play style. So especially when you're going up against the likes of Snake at the time, the likes of literally most of the teams in the LPL that were skirmish heavy and will challenge you, couldn't find the ability to play it consistently. They just benched the option.
We'll have to wait and see now if the Karthus is the key to victory for game one of Suning versus RNG, as we are finally onto the Rift. The players are let out. Let's see what happens. Yes, this is the venue without any sound. I was thinking, I was like, I'm almost certain that RNG's venue is the one that's not allowed to have sound. But level 1 is potential here. And it looks like this was very well scouted out, to be perfectly honest, by RNG. They knew exactly what was going on and what was going to happen, backed away, gave it respect.
Don't see a ward on their end, so they can only see people leaving the jungle rather than people, like, whether they're sticking around for the buff. They might still look to challenge it. You can still see them in the area. Yep. They want to force this one, so they start on bot side.
Oh, here we go. They're actually going to find the Gragas at the Raptors.
Yeah, this is very smart, because even better from Suning, too, to push them off the Raptor camp, because a lot of the times to contest for red buff, they try and get level 2 on their jungler, so it's going to be this big one that they want to be able to fight for. Karthus was denying that from Karsa, so he can't come into the red buff fight. He now recognizes that and has to leave and go topside.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to try and put down some hurt onto Xiaohu, missing all the Skittles.
What a great adaptation in the level 1, though, because for the most part we've been seeing, you know, junglers freely get the full pick up the Raptors and then challenge for the red buff on a level advantage and be able to push the team that's trying to aggress onto the buff. This time around, Suning recognized that and said, get the hell off that Raptor camp.
And I liked it as well. Like you said, it was a great adaptation, but they clearly ran this strategy quite a few times in scrims because they've warded both sides. They warded both brushes to see where was the Gragas.
Yeah.
As soon as they saw him on the Raptors, like you said, they jump in, say, nope, we know we're stronger here. And even if you don't get the full buff, you're still denying the full level 2 from the Gragas.
It allows, you know, Weiwei to still be on this side and to challenge pretty heavily against a team that, you know, Karsa, there's a reason why he's fighting tooth and nail for bot side to be able to be there for Uzi and Ming as they try and get advantages early. It's going to be a little bit harder now.
I love the pathing from Weiwei right now. Recognize that his mid and his top did not have priority, did not go for his red buff, took Raptors straight down to his blue, meant the Camille roam was just wasting time.
It's pretty smart level 1. This is the type of stuff that you want to be able to see in the first, you know, clear of your jungle. You know, a lot of the teams, when they go up against RNG, they ask themselves the question of how to be able to upset, you know, Uzi and Ming within the lane, especially when the laning matchup isn't, you know, good for them. This is one of them. So it's nice to be able to see that from Suning. But at the end of the day, RNG still gets their red buff, so Karsa still be able to get that experience for himself. And he can stick around. Really? Redemption?
Already?
I hate Zoe.
Zoe is so stupid. Well, that just nullifies any kind of advantage that SMLZ and SwordArt had accrued for themselves as oh, never mind. SMLZ says, no, get that health back down.
But that's something I like. The only thing I really dislike about Zoe as a champion is that, you know, when you go into a game and you pick up, let's say, old Rise, and you are happy with the matchup that you have, right? That can change just based off the RNG of her W. The fact that she can just get a redemption and then out-trade you pretty heavily. So a lot of the times back, at least, especially when she first released, was you can't just pick a LeBlanc, you just can't pick some of these great assassins and expect to win because of that.
And we actually see now Weiwei with the Aatrox trying to just fight for this. Camille was forced under tower. The Predator has been popped, as has the Trouble Bubble. Huge damage! Xiaohu picks up first blood. Will they be able to trade it back? Good knockback there to stop Angel from aggressing even further. Sylas should be able to escort the Aatrox out.
Yeah, they just even recognized that Xiaohu is in a bit of danger there, was there for him to get the hell out. So bad from the side of Suning. Weiwei didn't expect himself to be comboed. Like, he thought it was going to be a combo effort that Karsa would need to put in a bit of damage. Not even close.
Great knowledge, great anticipation, if you like, from Xiaohu. He flashes, he uses his ultimate, everything is basically to get him across this distance.
He thought that he needed to worry about the combo of Gragas and Zoe. Little did he know, it's all Zoe. Literally all of it. 100-0 when he was, what, level 4? All right, that's nice.
That is a pretty nice first blood going over to the mid laner, the one we highlighted as probably the biggest point of contention as such for the side of RNG, someone who's looking fantastic so far in recent weeks. What else can they do with it? That's the big question. Is Ming, with the updated Q, able to steal that, chuck it over to his Gragas, and able to steal it.
Also, just a reminder, you can also take buffs. Just going to put that in your mind, just so, you know, Tahm Kench got that now. He's got those. But Lost Chapter now picked up by Xiaohu because of how great that early game was, going in comparison to the Sylas. Doing really well for himself. I think this game gotten 10 times harder by Suning, knowing that the mid lane is going to be much harder to track.
And right now, you know, obviously not so great losing first blood, but gaining a flash. Uzi not respecting the fact that Tahm Kench just wasn't there. No protection.
Yeah, way too close to the wave. You got to respect it.
But what is the move now for Suning? They've lost first blood. It's not the end of the world. It's only 400 gold, literally the kill. What is the move for them in the terms of this early game?
I mean, for real, it's just Weiwei getting to level 6. He's picking up Krugs right now, but the moment he's able to pick up a fight around the Ocean Dragon and has the ability to just kind of say, okay, well, we have a lot of damage on towards, you know, Xiaohu in these respective fights. Just play it patiently. Honestly, they can just play it patient, be able to take it. So all in onto Langx.
Langx does not have level 6. The World Ender was popped by Angel, as you have Weiwei now up in this top side, just making sure that Xiaohu had gone missing, did not find himself up in that top side.
And even adding more to the patience factor is that Smlz and SwordArt are doing well in lane. For how much we're talking about Xiaohu is able to just style on Weiwei in the last skirmish. Right now, Uzi is suffering in the bot side of the map, and Ming can't rotate now, knowing that Uzi's flashless.
RNG wanting to continue their dominating performances, as we see Angel now jumping here on top of Langx. Puts down the Infernal Chains. Karsa now up towards the top side. Angel going to spot him out, and you can see now the Suning jungler and mid laner starting to roam up.
Good job from Weiwei, needing to actually put some wards up top side just in case, because that's a large wave starting to crash in. And even though Xiaohu is not mid just yet, just meeting the wave, you have to be concerned about Angel possibly getting died, so good defensive mechanisms.
And a lot of respect from both of these sides. It's still only a 400, 500 gold lead for RNG, so that kill very much just the gold value as such, as we see Smlz. I love seeing that, you know, popping the W, going aggressively forward with your Arcane Shift. To say that though, it's going to be a 2v2 in this mid lane. There's Explosive Cast for Explosive Cast. Weiwei now finds himself in front of the Zoe. Needs to be very careful. There's just too much damage. He's just going to try and turn it around with as much as he possibly can. They trade jungler for jungler. They both pick up the kill each.
That was pretty tough on the side of Suning. We'll see if RNG can make this even better with Ming in the area. Not going to be the case, but that hurts. The cast could have worked on Xiaohu, but the terrain right next to him just made him stand still.
Karsa showing my cast is better than yours, Maple. I'm the jungler. Don't forget that, as he is the boss. And just the difference in cast, you saw it there. You know, Karsa able to push everybody in front of him. So we see a bit more World Ender pop. Angel trying to find him. Don't know if he's going to be able to get the kill just yet. But Langx definitely finding himself a little bit hurt in this matchup.
Yeah. Pretty long cooldown on his hook shot just because he used it as the whole fight started out. It is tough. I mean, the outright numbers of the Aatrox is going to essentially give you that. Use his ultimate there. I wonder what the purpose of that one is.
Pop the ward down in the pixel push.
All right. But still, terrain ended up helping out quite a bit. He's TPing right back top lane.
Oh, the TP did come in, but Angel is under turret. Will not be able to trade back the kill, but will the Karthus? Yes, he will. That's a good ultimate use there. Press R and win. First one is successful, but Maple, you're in no man's land, buddy. And Uzi picks himself up his first kill of the series.
So much happening at the same time. You're right, the teleport comes through from Langx, and it was more so just Angel sitting in the lane for far too long. His wave is actually screwed too, so that's going to be hard for him. But then for whatever reason, for whatever purpose, Maple was sticking his head out there when his jungler was on Krugs, or at least Gromp, that is. So pretty tough for him. I want to see the context behind that.
Maybe just literally got caught out on a roam as it looked like the side of RNG just made the call. Go mid, get this Sylas out of the Zoe's face, let the Zoe start to roam.
Was he just clearing out a control word alone? Like, all of that is really where my concerns lie, because for how long it lasted, Ming and Uzi making the trip, perhaps that was just, you know, Ming popping his ultimate to get there faster. Let's see. Yep, it was. Literally just Ming essentially getting the cutoff in mid lane. So yeah, it wasn't technically even his fault. It was just great stuff from Ming traveling right behind him.
Yeah, Xiaohu was behind him as well, so can't really go forward onto that. And Karsa, right place, right time.
All right, okay. Good stuff from Ming.
We are back to pretty standard laning phases again. 4-2 in kills in favor of RNG. Got themselves a 500 gold lead coming up to the 11-minute mark. Very few, if any, turret plates have been taken. It looks like Rift Herald's going to be the next focus for RNG.
Usually teams here, you know, send their dual lane up top side to be able to secure the Rift Herald, but this time around they're just going to try and go for it. They are in vision.
And you can see the rest of Suning. Like he talked about rotating, potentially throwing the Aatrox down bodies in mid lane at the moment. The Ezreal as well, ready to be able to swap over. It's good adaptation from Suning. They're able to kind of put themselves in a position that they won't be caught out. To say that, Xiaohu might be caught out here as he just has to flash away. There's the explosive cast and he blows up SwordArt. Weiwei, not long for this world. He will also go down. Double kill for the Gragas. Karsa coming out with a masterclass.
This has been a pretty tough day for the Karthus. No, every time he joins a fight, the cask is sending him right to his demise. Good job by Karsa consistently to be able to make it, you know, easy for the team to get the Karthus out of the fight to begin with, right from the beginning.
And going right back to that Rift Herald. Karsa having a fantastic game against some of his former teammates.
That was just such bad timing too, because they sent the Ezreal topside. They actually would have had the numbers advantage if this went well from Suning. But the cast comes through, immediately blown up goes SwordArt, and Weiwei's, even though he flashes over the wall, easy to pick up.
Easy double kill, easy Rift Herald with a minute and a half left on the turret plates. You would imagine he's going to try and go bot side or mid with those.
Now it's just confusing for lane assignments for Suning. The reason why they sent the Ezreal topside was to be able to get control, but now they've missed position in terms of Baron, but I guess they're just going to go for it since there are back timings happening from RNG. All right.
TP bot for the Tahm Kench, going to be able to collect that wave if needed. Top lane now, Smlz. Talked about it, now he's just kind of at a disadvantage as such because he's not able to go toe-to-toe with this Camille.
He literally started this game doing so well for himself, and it's CS advantage too. The last few minutes have actually kind of screwed him up, so let's just see what he can do because Langx is always just looking for a possibility to look for a dive. But yeah, SwordArt finally rotates back top.
There is the Rift Herald being popped down bot side, and we talked about how Uzi was the carry for RNG. He's going to be soaking up a hell of a lot of gold here from these last few turret plates.
Oh no, he came into the lane with an Essence Reaver too. How much gold we talking? 320 and actually, it's already done. But that's a lot just because that was first turret gold going over.
Oh, an Angel now in a little bit of trouble. Explosive cast is available. It's another perfectly hit ultimate from Karsa. This guy just does not miss.
Karsa's just been doing so well this split. Ridiculously well. In fact, this season, he's just been kind of piggybacking off of his performance in 2018. It's just nice to be able to see peak level Karsa.
Now the pressure is very much on for Suning. They've lost 2 bot lane turrets. They've lost 1 now in the mid lane. They're going to be able to trade back 1. So a 3-for-1 trade overall. Suning, they got to find the answer.
I think we're just in for another snowball because Karsa still, not only is he, doing really well for himself based off the last skirmish, he still has stopwatch. So the next, possible dive is there on the table for mid lane. The only positive that I have right now for Suning is for how much, the Karthus is dying. He's been farming up incredibly well, has a level lead versus the Gragas. So even with a lot of the flubbed fights, he's still ready for the next one. So just comes down to execution for Suning.
If we're talking about execution, Karsa has just been so good at mapping where Weiwei has gone, where he needs to be, and just being able to find opportunities where, anything but a perfect cast would mean no kills.
That is a 2K goal lead that Uzi has on SMLZ.
And we're going to see now Camille trying to run away with the hook shot. Has got flash, forced to use it. Summoner down, but Karsa's there. This time a little too late.
At this point now, Suning just don't have wave clear. I mean, RNG can consistently look for plays like that because Uzi's going to be able to have that shove through mid lane. Xiaohu's always dictating the flow on the bot side of the map, so Angel won't be able to have the first punch. There we go. That's the patch. That's actually disgusting.
Yep, that is honestly too easy. Too easy to be able to get that and aggro it back. And poor Weiwei. All of pain, not going to show anything but pain for him.
All right, guys. You know what to do. QW your buffs now. Every game. Playtime Kench. Annoy the enemy team consistently until it gets reverted.
Until people realize that it is actually broken. But 4,000 goalie now for the RNG side. They've got themselves a pretty decent setup now for the lanes. Going to be able to steal a blue buff as well, so it's both buffs being stolen. Both going to exactly who you want them to go to as well. And this is where it's sore to be a jungler because everyone starts taking your camps because they're not getting the farm. They need levels, and unfortunately when you're a Karthus, you really badly need that gold.
Yeah, 1000%. I mean, Raptors, they should just be timed at this stage. One of the greatest things about Karsa is the fact that he does consistently, does time these camps. He's always trying to match it when the enemy jungle is in the area. This time around, Weiwei should never just be in the area. You don't want to contest that. So Raptors shouldn't be yours. Wave clear through mid allows now. You can already see it happening in your front of your eyes that Ming and Uzi will just rotate up top side and take even more.
Good vision established here by RNG, making it as dark and dangerous as possible as Karsa's just sitting in that bush. Going to flash in, trying to lead SwordArt, who actually gets a good little trade back. They end up losing SMLZ. I'm not quite sure exactly how that went down in the mid lane. But 4v3 up top side as Sylas is farming and pushing down bot.
That's what happens, man. Now he's taking a risk. He has stopwatch and the team right behind him. He has the time to look for plays like that. Now I just want to know how SMLZ died, to your point. He had the flash available. He probably had E, but he just got chased down somehow. So let's find out.
I'm calling a sleepy trouble.
Investigate it, you're right. The investigation concludes that he got slammed. Yeah, I don't think that's not even close. Oh!
The hose. The GLP. Anyone else, literally any other champion, and then Ezreal doesn't die. That's upsetting spaghetti.
Yeah.
We're going to see now. Maybe they try and go here now. They pop down the ultimate from the Karthus as well. So there's a good shutdown, but a great explosive cast to disengage from Langx. That's actually a really little nice pick there from Suning.
I love the fact that they're looking for it. And a great timing, too. Mountain Dragon is going to be the primary focus. And they, once again, caught Karsa misstepping.
This time Karsa does not have the stopwatch. So not able to nullify that like it was in top side. And this game is not over as of yet. Karthus now with 3 kills, able to equal that of the Gragas. And when you get gold and you get items now onto this Karthus, they become a very legitimate threat.
Yeah, they won't be able to get right back mid lane. So basing right now, biggest issue is going to be the issue of compositions. Last year, you asked me before the game, is a game lost off comp? Like, no, but there's, smaller windows. And in this case, Sivir, Zoe, just based off how they can consistently get priority through mid lane, Suning has a really small window, and they really have to outplay because of it. So good luck to them.
Suning definitely on the back foot, trying to get as much as they possibly can. Have finally got the Morellos on top of their Karthus, who's, again, like you said earlier in the game, farming up very, very nicely. Still yet to complete an item for Angel as well, so that's just... It's just a feel-bad moment right now for them, as I really just want him to get to that point where he's able to tank in a side lane.
You know what time it is. 20 seconds until Baron comes right back up, and we're in a position where this is what, Suning has just been kind of worried about the entire game. How are you going to get vision of the red side jungle? It hasn't been in your side for about like 5 minutes now.
Have got a teleport on Maple, so they can send the Sylas to deal with the Camille. As we see, there's the Tahm Kench ult up to the top side. Going to transport Uzi straight onto that turret. Angel cannot stand here. He has no way of defending. And I don't know if the side of Suning can really look for this.
Yeah, absolutely not. Even threatening them off the turret with the Sivir ultimate. Very easily, RNG can now, after they've shoved out this wave, head right back to the Baron completely unwarded. I want to see how many blue trinkets Suning have, so how many opportunities. Let's see. That's one. Only one blue trinket available, so they don't have much of a chance or much timing to give them to push through mid again. So good luck, Suning.
Suning need a pick. That is what they need right now. Is another red buff going to be eaten, stolen, spat back out, handed over to Uzi? I feel right now like it's not as if they're losing super badly. It's just that they haven't got any answers to what RNG's throwing at them.
RNG's been running a tight ship. Like, whenever they make their plays, Ming is always next to Karsa. So even though last time around we made the point about, stopwatch, next time he has Zhonya's, yeah, you can talk about Zhonya's, how much time that's buying for him. And then we can talk about, Tahm Kench essentially buying him more time just based off Devourer alone. So that's why, Suning don't have that many opportunities to come through just based off picks alone. The last pick was beautiful. Karsa won't make that mistake again.
We hope, anyway. We hope we won't make that same mistake again. Mountain Drake going to be spawning in 2 minutes. That's going to be the second Mountain Drake of the game. Suning will definitely like that, because it means they could potentially go for a sneaky Baron, because as they are right now, they haven't got exactly the fastest Baron take in the world. As we see...
Ooh, they see him.
Angel, I don't know if you can really go for any of this. Angel's still sitting on his, wealth of half items.
Yep.
Weiwei taken down by half health. Xiaohu able to do that with the Paddle Star. I just don't see it right now. They need items, they need gold, and they need time.
We're looking for that Hail Mary on Baron, right? We're looking for a Baron steal of sorts. It's going to be a little bit harder for the Karthus to make it happen, but that's what is on the table. Just as a reminder to everybody, whenever Uzi picks up the Sivir, it always comes down to, like, the CS race to 300. Right now, he's 270 CS, 22 minutes into the game. He's been farming more than perfectly. A lot of it has just been his own jungle CS alongside, the enemy jungle camps as well. But it's been the primary targets. Why he has 3 items for himself easily.
Got himself the 3 crit items. Maybe going to add a Zeal to that. Maybe even just a Quicksilver Sash, to be honest. As we see, there's Karsa. Just keeping Xiaohu safe. We talked about it in the pregame as well. Karsa plays around mid lane. Xiaohu gets himself ahead. RNG win.
And that might be happening a lot sooner than you expect. Blue Trinket's already been used by SMLZ. They have no ways to get past this. This is a pretty damn good ward that's in the river now. It'll have eyes on them if they're walking straight through the river to go towards Baron. Let's see how useful it's going to be.
RNG constantly pushing forward, constantly looking to get that vision down. Not doing a huge amount with it. I think that ward, like you said, definitely setting up RNG for a...
Block it.
He's got to block it.
Oh my god, please.
Curve the bullet, forces the heal out of the Lux.
Weiwei acted like he was helping a friend down. He's like, I'm just gonna, you know, when the bullet starts coming, I'm gonna suck in my gut.
He kind of like looked at the damage and items and just kind of went, wait, I'm not a tank jungler right now. I could get one-shotted.
It's like extending a help to your friend when the party is over, but you realize once they say, yeah, you know, you can help clean out, and he's like, ooh, but, you know, I got a thing that I got to do. I forgot
I'm
about
so
it.
sorry. I
Yeah,
only said it
that
really
ting,
to be
you know?
polite.
I got to get that ting that I forgot about.
Yeah, and Baron has been procced there. Xiaohu able to put down a lot of damage down onto Maple, who was just trying to clear out some vision. They lose Dragon on the side of Suiting, but they gain vision control over Baron. They still need another 5-6 minutes to really get those items going. But even then, going late game doesn't even guarantee you anything because you're against a Sivir and a Zoe.
The Aatrox has one item. So
The Aatrox has not been doing well.
Yeah. I mean, it's as early laning phase has been good, but the problem is this game is long forgotten about the early laning phase. And I mean, Suiting has always been that team to be able to like just bounce back. And also the game's been stalled out to a certain degree where Karthus is able to, you know, at least get himself some good CS underneath him. Got himself the Morellonomicon, so at least he's able to get that. Damage is still there. Pick potential from the Lux is going to be able to get something. Let's see if this is going to be the pick.
What Weiwei wants right now is a Banshee's Veil. You can see he's building towards it. It will just give him that little layer of safety that he really badly needs before he's able to pick up his stopwatch and maybe look for, you know, that kind of mid to late game fight.
Yes, please. I would like that. Banshee's Veil is definitely a good buy here. That and Zhonya's, of course, are going to be pulled, especially if you're Maple in this situation. You want to be able to get the Zhonya's, but the Cask has just been putting too much work here. Cask and the Sleepy Triple Bubble. There's just a lot of abilities that's able to just dictate this fight, but nice binding.
Now we see Cleanse used there by Ming, has got the Unsealed Spellbook, so we'll have heal in about 3 seconds, so not that big of a deal. But RNG, they don't want to go for Baron. They've been baiting it this whole time. They're just trying to push up this mid and bot lane. They want the base.
This is a typical RNG strategy of just trying to bully the side lane on this one. Angel has been such low econ this game that at least this time it's going to be the 80 carry, so maybe get a few chip on turret, try and see if they can get Angel to all in as possible. I will say at the end of the day, I mean, they're just wasting too much time. You can very easily force this Baron buff situation on towards Suiting. And if you want to start the fight, have Zoe in an area in which you can go for a Sleepy Trouble Bubble, or have Langx in the area so you can go for a hook shot and engage. I think right now it's just too long for RNG, playing too safely here.
Do you think they're over-respecting the Karthus into an Ezreal poke that could be coming out if they go for a Baron?
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of the times a team will be looking to their strongest member and say, hey, you know what? Uzi requires more items, you know? He's actually doing incredibly well for himself. As long as he set himself up, he already has a Hex Drinker, which probably now makes him a little bit more confident.
Speaking of confidence, the rest of RNG have found themselves around this Baron. They must have heard you, Raz, as they're looking to re-establish dominance, but Maple
This is the time.
has got the Gragas ultimate. There is the Ezreal ult to try and just scout out who is there. They know the 3 players of RNG are there. Good bit of poke from the side of Suiting. Means that Ming is taken very, very low.
At half HP. He should go back into the mid lane and heal right back through with Targon, so that'd be nice.
Oh, they're going to try and go for this. Explosive cast, unfortunately, not going to hit for the side of Suiting, and now here comes the chase on it. There is the Zhonya's. It baits out so much, actually, but Maple taken so low. Ignite is down. Flashes over the wall. He survives, but that could spell Baron.
Yep, easily. He should go back to base. And at least Maple has teleport, but if that's something we're kind of working towards, there are no teleport wards that are available by Suiting. It's going to be a pretty quick and easy Baron by RNG. Let's see.
Oh, TP is coming in response to this. They take a lot of damage from this Baron. Camille was not there to tank, therefore they did not feel safe. They could have got collapsed on. They back away.
Yeah,
no one
recognize
does.
that the teleport was also being channeled in through from Maple too. So while it was a great attempt at the pick off onto Maple, Maple was able to get out. We're still there to defend Baron buff. So we're back at step 1. This is kind of interesting. At this point, you know, if you're hearing the louder voices on the team, it is Langx and Uzi. Wave clear and the 80 carries being able to get more and more damage underneath them and have a larger goal difference between him and Smlz. That's always going to be a win for him. And then you look towards Langx, who's really putting a pounding on Angel in the side lane. And so he wants to be able to have at least some pressure on towards the inhibitor turret on the bot side. I think that's going to be the major primary focus. But you know me. And RNG should just fight for it. They have so many ways to start the fight, and they are so far ahead. There's no reason for them to be playing such a slow game right now.
I was going to say, that's kind of the difference right now, as the Baron has been started.
All right.
TP is going to be channeled. There is the Requiem as they're trying to go in for it. SwordArt is there. Is there going to be a Miracle Steal coming out from anybody? No. RNG secure the Baron. They back away. They got the objective finally.
Thank you. All right. And even then, it was still a risk. I'm not even saying take a risk. I'm saying bait them in. But it looks like they're going for the fight now.
Here they go. They're going to try and go for it. But now Maple, who went away, now flashes back in, gets deleted. There's 2 kills for Uzi, 3 for RNG, and they're going to be able to end the game off of 1 fight.
Sivir is doing so much damn damage at this stage. 29 minutes, and he's almost full item. Full build. This guy's huge. Oh, Langx.
Oh, good QSS means that SMLZ is able to stay alive barely, is able to dodge out quite a bit of things with the flash. Xiaohu, Paddle Star, sniped out of it, and they're going to go straight in for the inhibitors.
This might not be game. You still have 18 seconds on Weiwei to come back up. Relatively low death timers, but these are huge amount of minion waves. You're coming in with a Baron buff.
I think they're looking like they're going to go for it. They're going to try for it. Nexus turret number 1, down.
They're way too fast.
Nexus turret number 2, dead, and Nexus goes down. RNG take the series 1-0.
They still have one more game. You calm down. But RNG right now, just based off how they were able to start this one through Xiaohu. Xiaohu had such a great early game. Man, if I'm going to be calling this one to like any member who gets MVP from me, 100% it's going to be Karsa. Karsa and Xiaohu, as per usual, just dominate the early stage of the game. And a lot of the early casts were just resulting in early kills on Weiwei.
Karsa literally just played the early game, like you said, to perfection.
Yes.
Was in the right place, right time, was able to counterplay, and it was an uphill battle for Suning, and unfortunately, all it took was a Baron and 1 fight. That was all it took. 1 fight at 30 minutes dead, they were able to win.
I still love a lot of things from Suning. With how large the goal lead was there, I thought that they were playing the Baron bait, and they're trying to kind of keep them at his arm reach pretty well. The ultimate coming in through SMLZ was always able to chunk members out. And Weiwei is actually a level advantage up on Karsa for the majority of the game, even with Karsa having accomplished so much and having a higher goal lead. So I think Weiwei recognized a lot of the skirmishes weren't going his way, but he always had a pathway back in. So as well as all of that came through, once again, execution was there from Karsa. Xiaohu just dominated and dictated the early lanes, and then from that point forward, we talk about the small window Suning had. Wave clear was constantly in favor of RNG.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the Aatrox in the top side, Angel just got no gold.
Yeah.
He was, I think it was 24 minutes or something close to that before he got his first item. That's just not a good time at all. It means he can never go into a side lane to fight anybody. Looking towards the next game, what's Suning got to change? What are they got to try and mix up to try and take this series back to a 1-1?
I think a lot of the decisions within the game is something that need to readjust it, because remember, one of the most iconic moments of this game was the fact that they ended up swapping Ezreal up top lane when they were going for a play through mid. When they went that play through mid, if it succeeds, they actually flourish, because there's a reason to be sending the Ezreal up top. You get the Rift Trail, you get the Dragon. You actually just do so much, and then Aatrox gets the full bot lane wave. But they lost the skirmish. Ezreal couldn't pick up the wave up top side because the Camille was looming over him. And the Aatrox was like, well, I don't have a wave. There's a dual lane right in front of me. They actually lost gold across the board because of that one play alone.
It was like they set up the dominoes all very perfectly. It's like, yeah, kill, get the dragon, get the Baron, and then the domino just goes the opposite direction. You're like, yeah. Oh.
Because the lanes, outside of mid lane, the lanes were going well for the Ezreal and for the Aatrox. Outside of that, like, teleport back into the lane and the solo kill that Langx got, Aatrox was actually dominating that lane and was sending, the matchup in his favor. He was doing a good job. But then there are just multiple instances where the lane assignments were poor and the teamfight execution was not working out well. Back to my potential MVP. I want to see who it is. I think Karsa deserves it.
We'll have to wait until after the break. We are going to throw it quickly to a break. But when we return, we'll have your MVP in Game 2 of this best-of-3 series.
all their damage onto Uzi, so...
Careful, the supreme
Never
display
mind.
of talent gets 4! That's why I said be careful! Requiem's gonna come out, but they're already a man down. The damage is not there. Asura ults in immediately, but the Sanguine pull into the Hemo Plague. Asura has to run for his life as Langx flashes on top. The rest of RNG take them in fight, and they run to their death.
Alright, let's see. Fight's coming through.
Chain of Corruption, a lot of damage, but there is the Kiana ultimate, and he blows off Varus. He was done his job. The Rumble ultimate comes down, but there are so many low health bars right now. They're going to be able to get down the ultimate as well. Death round there onto Pose as he just try and go for it. There's your interaction. It does not do anything to the rest of the team, but Mystic is still alive. Mystic could potentially turn this around if he's able to get the time onto this backline. Good flame spitter into the Zhonya's. Mystic trying his best. He can potentially look for something here. He's just trying to try and keep kiting it out. He's dodging everything. Will he be able to get one? He gets one, but not another. That was so damn close. Mystic valiantly goes down, but it ends up being the ace in favor of BLG.
With EDG, the simpler execution method, as you mentioned there before. That's what we need to see. EDG are now unified. Doomy is spotted, but they send the ulti while Doomy keeps them busy in the unified composition. Junior comes in with the flank. They pull him back. They turn back around. FDX have the health bars to play around with. Junior gets ignited around. Givian over the wall onto Ivoy. Cully comes out. Death from below. Scout is jumping left to right center onto Doomy. He presses W while LWX over the wall. The Lucian wins. How does Lucian win late game? FBX have done it. This game is bonkers as Ivo runs back in. Sit down, milady.
FPX match relatively soon, and they only lost 2 turret plating for it.
Oh, and Mako's caught out under Tara. Culling is available from LWX. They turn. The arrow lands on the top of Chris. Death from below. Doesn't land himself. Good flash here from Chris. He sends out the skewer. He gets the flash. Mako flashes into it, but Chris doesn't matter. Does not matter. That was sick. LNG may have fought back in this game, but the disengage necessary.
How did they get home, though?
How indeed. Ming cutting them off. LNG caught through the river. They're going to try and back. Clement asked me again. Karsa with the flag and drag. The ulti, the turnaround. Cannon Barrage doesn't hit anyone. RNG are the ones getting low. LNG have the inner track. Xiaohu, yes! Pop Blossom! Down with the Cataclysm. The sickness over to LNG. RNG are dangerously low and Plex needs the carry, but can he 1v4? This is the struggle right now as LNG lose everyone. They jump onto Plex. RNG poke away.